Hi, friends. I'm Emily Lay, and you're listening to the Simplified podcast. If you're looking for a quiet place where you can filter out the noise and the hustle, this is it. Every week, I invite you to slow down and join me to explore practical ways to organize and automate the complicated parts of life so you can focus on what truly matters most. Today, we're talking all about rituals and why they're such powerful tools for becoming the person you want to be. At Simplified, we've put together some tools that help you figure out what kind of rituals to put in your life. We've got a line of workbooks you have got to check out. They cover all kinds of topics, from friendship and new moms, meals and finances, even travel and faith. If you want to dig into some of these topics a little bit more, I highly recommend you check out those workbooks over at emilylay.com. Well, guys, I'll admit it, on the surface, talking about rituals doesn't sound like, the most exciting topic. You know why? Because a ritual is something you do that usually no one else really sees. It's not the thing that goes up on social media. It's not the thing we make movies out of, unless it's a scene where a boxer like Rocky is training for a huge match. And the only reason that's exciting is because they're an underdog up against a huge challenge. I mean, even if you do put a photo of yourself up on Instagram while you're performing your ritual, that's not why you did the ritual. You do it because your ritual, whatever it is, and there's a million out there, whether it's you getting quiet and listening to yourself through meditation, practicing yoga, praying, journaling, spending time with your kid, budgeting ruthlessly, volunteering, moving your body with intention, no matter what it is, you do the mundane, everyday work of ritual because somehow it gives you life. It gives you direction. It teaches you things you would never learn otherwise because you made yourself do this thing over and over and over. Sometimes when you felt like it, but especially when you didn't. Some rituals give you a sense of accomplishment. They take you on the way to a goal, like budgeting and saving or writing a book. But many times there's no destination. There's no supreme yoga master level you can reach, or I raised the most remarkable human in the world trophy. Many times you're pouring yourself into these tasks because, they give you a little immediate gratification, but it's more than that. It's almost like hopping a train where you don't know quite where it's going, but you know it's going somewhere good. You just have to have faith that that train will get there, whatever the good place is. And it takes a lot of faith to do that. If you've never really thought about the power of rituals, I don't blame you. To me, they're almost like habits on steroids. They're not just helpful little things you pick up. They're intentions you set, almost in a sacred way, because you know they really matter to your growth and development as a person. They help you become more of who you are and also who you want to be. It sounds kind of heavy because I think that's how ritual works. It has weight. It's meaty. It means something. Here's one thing I've learned. I can tell you what my ritual means to me, but you have to figure out what yours is for you. It might not be the same as mine. And your ritual might feel differently as you practice it, or it might give you a different outcome than mine does. But over time, I think we'll each come to feel the same about our ritual, even if they're different. Because I've found that every ritual that becomes an integral part of my life has brought me two feelings, peace and confidence. And I want those for you too. Here's a few reasons why ritual really matters and why it's such a life-giving practice to have in your life. Number one, ritual takes away drama and friction and inserts ease and confidence. Rituals take away the friction of deciding A, to do that thing, and B, how you're going to do it. And there's something to be said about an activity that makes my life a little more simple and automated. Twyla Tharp is one of the greatest choreographers the world has ever seen. She's worked for the most prestigious ballet companies all over the world. New York, London, Paris, Stockholm, Berlin. She's won Emmys and Tonys. She's earned a MacArthur Fellowship. She's been honored by the Kennedy Center and Harvard. Suffice it to say, she knows a thing or two about honing talent and then harnessing that talent into something beautiful and meaningful. And how does she do that? She does it through ritual. Listen to what she says here. I begin each day of my life with a ritual. I wake up at 5:30 a.m. and put on my workout clothes. I walk outside of my Manhattan home, hail a cab, and tell the driver to take me to the Pumping Iron Gym at 91st Street and 1st Avenue, where I work out for 2 hours. The ritual is not the stretching and strength training I put my body through each morning at the gym. The ritual is the cab. The moment I tell the driver where to go, I have completed the ritual. Did you catch that? The ritual isn't what Twyla does at the gym. It's making the decision to go there in the first place. It's waking up, putting on her gym clothes, and getting in the cab. She goes on to say, it's a simple act, but doing it the same way each morning makes it a habit. It makes it repeatable, easy to do. It reduces the chance that I would skip it or do it differently. It is one more item in my arsenal of routines, one less thing for me to think about. That is so good, right? Ritual is automation at its finest, plain and simple. Number 2, a ritual gives you the chance to look at old things from a new perspective. Have you ever read a book or watched a movie as an adult that you read or watched for the first time when you were a kid? Did it strike you differently when you were an adult? I do that with Christmas movies sometimes. I definitely pick up on a lot more humor in Christmas Vacation than I did when I was a kid. As an adult, you've expanded your horizons through your life more than you realize. You can't help but use the new lenses you've acquired to look at things a little differently. Do you worship at a place that uses liturgy or includes the same sort of elements at different parts of the service, like prayer? It's the same kind of concept here as well. Even if you heard the same prayer or read the same words or heard the same stories, sometimes we don't even know how much we've grown and changed until we revisit a place or text or prayer that's familiar to us and we see it completely differently than we did before. My hope is that when I do revisit these familiar stories through ritual, I'm a little softer, a little more empathetic, a little less impatient and stubborn, and more calm, discerning, and forgiving. Number 3, a ritual gives you the chance to practice grace for yourself. Y'all, some days are a struggle, aren't they? How many times have you woken up on a Tuesday and thought, I just don't know if I have it in me today. I'd rather roll over and go back to sleep. That has been me on countless Tuesdays. And then I remember there's coffee downstairs, and I managed to get up. Have you ever decided to pick up on a journaling habit? I have a zillion times. I think it's the English major in me. I feel like I'm supposed to have a fountain of words every day because words are my thing, right? Well, some days that's true, but other days include me adding items to my grocery cart, then maybe the Amazon cart, and also, did you know there's a clearance sale at Anthropology? Sometimes I'd rather do anything than write. And on those days, you know what I do? I try to go back to my writing ritual. I shut the door, I get quiet, I close all the open tabs, I get out my Google Doc, and I try again. If my brain is being really uncooperative, I'll set a timer. I'll tell myself, you only have to do this for 15 minutes, Emily. That's it. Only 15 minutes, and then you can check Instagram or click add to cart as many times as you want. And a lot of times that works. My brain decides to focus and get in a rhythm. It decides it would rather stay on the page than go do something else. But other days it doesn't, and I make my peace with that, because some days are just like that. I've talked about this before, but I've learned so much from it. Have you ever done a workout routine like yoga or spinning or weight training, and it feels like your progress was all over the place? Like sometimes you go and you feel so strong, and the next time you go, it feels like you've gone way backward. You can't handle as much weight or gear up as much or handle the same poses that were no problem last time, and you have no idea why. Maybe you found yourself like this in the middle of prayer or meditation. Maybe some days are wonderful where you feel focused and connected, and others it's like you're an empty shell or you're a goldfish who can't keep her attention for more than 2 seconds. It's okay. You are human, and progress doesn't go in a straight line. In this case, practicing your ritual, even when it feels harder than usual, gives you a chance to give yourself grace. You're trying. And even if the progress isn't what you'd hoped for, there's so much you've gained in just the trying. You have learned that you're someone you can trust to try. You've learned that even when it's tough, you'll come back to your ritual. And honestly, as corny as it sounds, sometimes learning that lesson can give you more comfort and confidence than just coming back to kill it every single day. Because you know that you have the strength and character to go the distance, and you can do hard things. And now a word from our sponsor, BetterHelp. Sometimes when we're dealing with a problem, it can be tough to try to find a solution when the problem seems so big. As a leader of a small business, I try to be a problem solver. But sometimes it's tough to get into that mode, especially when I can't see the way forward. A therapist can help you become a better problem solver, making it easier to accomplish your goals, no matter how big or small. I've been meeting with a therapist for a few years now, and it's one of the best decisions I've ever made for myself. She's helped me realize that I don't have to be perfect to solve my problems, and it's not my job to solve everything alone either. That's helped me let go of so much stress and find so much peace. If you're thinking of giving therapy a try, BetterHelp is a great option. It's convenient, accessible, affordable, and entirely online. You can get matched with a therapist after filling out a brief survey and switch therapists at any time. When you want to be a better problem solver, therapy can get you there. Visit betterhelp.com/simplified today to get 10% off your first month. That's betterhelp.com/simplified. Every year when we head back to school, it's inevitable. Somebody in the lay house gets sick. Somebody's coming home with a cold, a sore throat, and then, one by one, we all get sick too. Lately, I've been disinfecting counters and doorknobs and using lots of hand sanitizer. But you know what else? Since viruses and bacteria can be passed through the air, now I make sure the air in our home is fresh and clean. And that's where April Air comes in. April Air is healthy air, and they have professional-grade air quality solutions that can help your family breathe easy inside your home. Their signature healthy air system is right for any home in any climate, combining fresh air ventilation, filtration, humidity control, and so much more to protect your family from pollutants, viruses, and other contaminants. So get the best protection for your home and family. Find out which April Air solution is right for you at aprilair.com/simplified. That's aprilaire.com/simplified. I love the peace of mind that comes with a good plan. And that's why you've got to check out Ethos Life Insurance. With Ethos, you could get life insurance in 10 minutes for as little as $10 a month. Ethos online application takes only minutes, so you can quickly get back to your day. Plus, Ethos has no medical exams, just a few easy health questions and competitive rates from top-rated carriers. In the time it takes to make breakfast, I was able to get a life insurance policy from Ethos. I wanted to make sure the kids are covered should the unexpected ever happen, and trust me, that peace of mind is so worth it. So join the thousands of satisfied families protected with help from Ethos. Every year you wait, life insurance premiums increase by 8 to 10%. So get a free personalized quote today at ethoslife.com/simplified. That's ETHOS life.com/simplified. One more time, go to ethoslife.com/simplified to get your free life insurance quote today. Ethos Technologies, Inc. operates in California as Ethos Life Insurance Services. Not available in all states and prices subject to underwriting and certain health questions. Number 4, the small actions of a ritual add up to something big. When you're in the middle of an ordinary day, completing all the little tasks and minutiae in your ritual, it's hard to fathom that someday everything could add up to something big. But that's what happens. It's sort of like compound interest. If you write 1,000 words a day, which is the goal for many authors, it's a doable goal without killing yourself. If you do that every day for 2 months, you'll have enough words for a book. It may be a really, really rough draft, but it's still enough to call it a book. Maybe you've cut a deal with your kids when they come home from school. After a snack, you set a timer for 15 minutes and do math flashcards together. No one exactly loves math flashcards, but Mama, you know it's only going to be helpful for them. And when your kid comes home and tells you about a multiplication pop quiz she aced, you'll see how the flashcard ritual paid off. Or maybe you've decided to get your finances in shape. First, you spend some time to set your budgeting app up. Then every morning at breakfast, you check your app to make sure you're spending and saving in the buckets you planned for. Unexpected expenses come up, of course, and you shuffle around the dollars to make it work. And then over time, you'll find that you've got more money left over than you're used to, which is fantastic because your dentist decided it's time for that expensive procedure you've been putting off. But you don't sweat it because you have enough to cover the bill thanks to your growing savings. Or maybe you've decided to make caring for your body a ritual for yourself. You add more colorful foods to your plate, more greens and reds, yellows and purples, and you also decide to go to the gym twice a week. Just twice for some light strength training so you can make sure your muscles and bones stay strong as you get older. Then one day you're carrying the groceries in your house when you realize this doesn't take as much effort as it used to. Or you're out walking and notice, that hill that used to knock the wind out of you doesn't do that as much anymore. And you're pretty pumped about this. Success doesn't just happen, you guys. I know it feels like it when you look everywhere in the world and see people killing it all over the place. It's so much easier to praise inherent talent and genius because it feels rare. It feels attainable. It feels like we're off the hook for trying something so big because that stuff is only for the geniuses. But you know what? Your job isn't to do the big, glitzy things. That's not what I'm saying here. I just wonder if those things you've been dreaming of are a little more in your grasp than you think. I wonder if those people who have achieved the kind of results you're looking for have made a ritual or two part of their days. I wonder if they've made a pact with themselves to do the hard, mundane work day in and day out. I wonder if that's why they're seeing results. I don't know. Just a thought. As we leave this time together and get back to our days, may you find the rituals that feed your soul. May you discover ease in your day as you work so hard. And after a while, may you see tiny slivers of progress as you begin to reveal the wonderful person you are and the outstanding person you're becoming. As always, I like to leave a little tip to help you put what we've talked about today into practice. So here's your task for this week. If you'd like to put a ritual in your life, but you don't know where to start, think about this question for a minute. Who do I want to become? I answered this question earlier this year. I knew I wanted to be someone whose body is strong. So I put a couple different rituals back into my life that had kind of slipped away. I put workouts back into my days, and I also put a bit more time into preparing proteins and produce for our meals. These are small, doable rituals I'm still able to keep up with today. Are there some days when I want to skip a workout or eat a vat of French fries? Absolutely. And some days I skip workouts and eat the French fries. And guess what? I'm okay with that. Because since I have those rituals, I am way more mindful of when I deviate from the intentions I've set for myself. So try to answer, who do I want to become? You'll probably see what kind of ritual to put in place so you can make progress toward that particular goal. Thanks for listening to the Simplified podcast. I hope today's episode helped you feel a bit more fire around putting good rituals in your day. You can find show notes for this episode at emilylay.com/podcast, where you can check out links and resources I mentioned here and shop the Simplified brand of planners and products. And don't forget to pick up your copy of my new children's book called You're Always Enough right now, wherever you buy books. I hope you're loving this show. I know I love making it for you. The simplest way you can enjoy it is to subscribe to the show so it'll pop right into your phone. Talk about automated. And while you're subscribing, it's easy to rate the show and leave a review while you're there. That helps the show get to other people who might enjoy it as well. Thank you so much for doing that. Until next time, thanks for listening. Bye.